Greetings, citizens, and welcome to episode 6 of the matchmaking challenge. I'm not realizing that a lot of these builds are going to be very similar in like how they work. Like, oh boy, it's a gun, it shoots. This is a bigger gun, it shoots tanks. That's an eagle. Yeah, that's not very fun. But all of them have a unique character. That's why I started doing this in the first place. It's just Arrowhead gave us a bunch of unique characters, and I wanted to try them all and add to them with the stratagems instead of changing it like a lot of builds do. Not saying that's bad, it's probably better, but anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit less about how the builds work. We all play helldivers here, and more about how they feel. Anyway, lasers. So this week is about the LAS-5 Scythe and the DP-40 Hero of the Republic. I call them Rave Divers or the Light of Liberty. Depends on what you want. Rave Divers if you are silly and like making up a nickname, or the Light of Liberty to show the true power of the Super Earth government. Now these divers are flashy. The source of Super Earth war videos being sent back to inspire the public. Besides the wearers of the BO1 tactical armor, because everyone knows those, they're in the promotional video. Anyway, the Hero of the Republic gives the Democracy Protects buffs, which means that when you die from a source of damage, you have a 50% chance to not. This sounds great. It's not the best perk in the game, but it's just so dang thematic. It lets you go all out on the heroic actions, and you will probably die, but that's funny. The helldivers that take this loadout are the most democratic and truly believe in Liberty's ability to save them, as well as their trusty companion, the Rover Guard Dogs. These things are great. I love the Guard Dogs. They always increase my survivability by a lot. And the difference between this one and the normal Guard Dog is this one has a laser. Yeah, good old Rover. That's literally what they call it. I don't think it's that much of a joke. Anyway, he has a bottomless magazine. Just like your gun, the LAS-5 Scythe uses a heat sink instead of a magazine, so if you find the time to lay off the trigger, the gun will cool, allowing divers that bring this to fire their gun without ever reloading, though the gun can overheat if you're not careful. When this happens, you just swap it out and you carry 4 extra heat sinks. Our support weapon is the Quasar Cannon, very similar to the recoilless rifle, except it doesn't need to reload, and it doesn't take a backpack slot. It just sits there and has to cool down between shots. So you gotta hit your shots or you're gonna be in a bad situation real quick. So that's true with basically everything. It's just more of a bad situation because you can't just find a place to reload. They're coming. Yeah, we brought the orbital laser. Emergency button does a lot of damage and is just very powerfully thematic, just as powerful thematically as it is in the game. Like it gets a lot of kills and can take out anything very quick. And the 4th stratagem is the Eagle Airstrike, because this thing can get 20 or more kills if you know how to use it right. And there's 5 of them, so it's really good if you just need to take out a lot of enemies really fast, which happens a lot. Our explosive is the standard high explosive grenade, the secondary is the Senator, though you could bring something like the Redeemer, because the secondary is a good way to let the heat sink not overheat. It's a good way to let it cool down a little bit. But the LAS doesn't have heavy armor penetration. It is very, very precise. It's a laser, so you don't need the higher armor penetration as much if you know where you're shooting. But, the Senator's still nice to have. So yeah, in function, the Rave Divers are very simple, using your standard good practice assault tactics, but it's about more than just winning. It's about the power. These divers are decked in all of the highest tech combat gear that the SEAF has to offer, and Liberty's enemies don't just lose to these divers, they falter under the pressure and the raw magnetism. And Super Earth has a democratic video to send back to the people to get more people to fund their war and to join it. I mean, just watch these clips. These things don't die unless they want to.
freedom! You will never destroy our way of life! Requesting order!